New Orleans, the soul of the South, just witnessed a transportation triumph. Amtrak's Gulf Coast service has returned. Known for its vibrant culture, jazz rhythms, and spicy Creole dishes, the Crescent City now adds another gem to its legacy with a rail revival that's smashing passenger projections. So what exactly did Amtrak do to blow everyone's minds? And why is this route making headlines? Let's uncover the magic behind the momentum in today's episode of Great Trainspeed. After a 20-year hiatus, the return of the Mardi Gras service isn't just another timetable update, it's a comeback story for passenger rail along the Gulf Coast. For 2 decades, this corridor relied on highways and airports, while the tracks stayed quiet and the stations slowly faded into the background. So when plans to restore service finally moved forward, expectations were sky high and emotions were just as strong. Of course, the journey back hasn't been smooth. Since day one, the project has had to push through delays, negotiations, and what officials politely call construction issues. According to the head of the Southern Rail Commission, those very issues have once again pushed back the official launch of Amtrak's Mardi Gras service by a few more weeks. For riders who have been waiting years, not months, that's frustrating to hear. But here's where the story takes a dramatic turn. Even before the full Mardi Gras service is in place, Amtrak's Gulf Coast trains are already smashing expectations and shattering passenger projections. More people are riding than anyone predicted, and the big question now is just how many travelers are choosing the train, and what does that say about the future of this corridor? We're about to dig into the ridership numbers and reveal why this surge is turning heads across the rail industry. Stick around for the next part of Great Trainspeed, and before we jump in, hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update. When Amtrak's Mardi Gras service rolled out this summer, it burst back onto the Gulf Coast with every seat booked and a level of excitement many didn't expect. What started as a long-awaited revival of a historic route has quickly turned into one of the most surprising success stories in Amtrak's recent history. Nearly 3 months in, the momentum hasn't slowed for a moment. Tourists, day trippers, and daily commuters are all choosing to ride the rails from New Orleans to Mobile instead of braving the increasingly congested drive along Interstate 10. And the numbers tell a powerful story. From mid-August through the end of September, the new service carried nearly 19,000 passengers. This averages about 109 riders per day, according to Knox Ross, chairman of the Southern Rail Commission. That total has climbed to nearly 30,000 riders. In other words, demand is not just steady, it's accelerating. Trains on the old Gulf Coast, limited, once hit around 75% occupancy on their best days. On the new Mardi Gras service, Ross says trains are running at an average of about 90%. That's an astonishing figure for a line launched during Amtrak's traditionally slower months. What makes this surge even more remarkable is how far it surpasses early expectations. Amtrak originally estimated the route would attract about 71,000 riders in its entire first year. Yet at the current pace, the line could reach that milestone well before its first anniversary. For a corridor that hadn't seen rail service in nearly 2 decades, this return is nothing short of a breakthrough. The route itself is simple, scenic, and deeply meaningful to coastal communities. Trains run twice daily between New Orleans and Mobile, stopping in Bay St. Louis, Biloxi, Gulfport, and Pascagoula. One-way fares start at just $15, making the service accessible to families, students, and retirees who want a hassle-free way to move along the shoreline. And for many riders, the train offers something the highway simply can't: a relaxed trip where you can read, nap, work, or simply watch the Gulf Coast roll by. The demand has grown so quickly that Amtrak has already had to adapt. When football season kicked off, a third train car was added to accommodate the flood of fans traveling to New Orleans for Saints home games. Those 60 extra seats sold out on multiple weekends, proving just how strong the interest is, not only from locals, but from visitors who are discovering rail travel as a fun, social, and stress-free alternative on game days. The highest ridership week so far came during Cruisin' the Coast, the beloved annual classic car celebration that brings tens of thousands of enthusiasts to Mississippi's shoreline. The train became an unexpected star of the event, offering an easy way to hop from town to town. But, beyond the excitement, the Mardi Gras line represents a sign of healing and revival along a coastline that still carries the scars of Hurricane Katrina. Support from residents has been overwhelming. Friends of Amtrak Mardi Gras Service, a Facebook group created by local enthusiasts, has swelled to more than 27,000 followers. Riders share photos of sunsets from their window seats, talk about their day trips, and post practical tips for first-timers. Assisted living centers along the coast are even coordinating group trips to Mobile, showing just how broad the appeal has become. For many, traveling on trains is to share an experience, a familiar rhythm returning to daily life. Even midweek, when most routes across the country tend to dip in ridership, this line remains strong. Mark Magliari, Amtrak's senior public relations manager, says that's unusual. Normally on routes like this, Tuesdays or Wednesdays are softer than the rest of the days, but even midweek's been strong, he explained. I think that speaks to a couple of things. Firstly, the quality of the service. Secondly, the quality of the competition. He points out that Interstate 10 is more crowded than ever, and riding the train offers something drivers simply can't do safely on the road. As the environmental conversation grows louder across the country, the Mardi Gras service is gaining attention as a cleaner, more sustainable choice as well. With trains producing significantly fewer emissions than cars or planes, the route's success hints at a broader shift in how Americans might rethink travel in regions long dominated by highways. As more riders discover the convenience, comfort, and low cost of this line, the hope is that rail travel will become a regular habit rather than a novelty. For now, one thing is clear. Amtrak's Mardi Gras service is not just meeting expectations, it's smashing them. If this momentum continues into the coming months, the service could become one of Amtrak's most impressive comeback chapters. And for communities from New Orleans to Pascagoula, it's a reminder of how far they've come, and how much further they can go when they're connected by something as simple, joyful, and reliable as a train running along the Gulf. With numbers this strong, do you believe riders are finally ready to choose trains over cars along the Gulf Coast? Do you think passengers are feeling positive after this big success? Drop 1 if you think it is, and 0 if you have another opinion. We would love to hear your idea in the comment below. The recent success of Amtrak's Gulf Coast service has sparked a wave of enthusiasm among passengers, many of whom see it as a long overdue revival of rail travel in the region. The service has not only exceeded ridership projections, but also reignited a sense of optimism about the future of train travel in the United States. For many, this is more than just a transportation milestone, it's a symbol of progress and possibility. Passengers have expressed overwhelming support and excitement, with one rider exclaiming, "Amazing news! This is what it's all about." The sentiment is echoed by others who credit advocacy groups like the Rail Passengers Association for championing the cause, emphasizing the relevance of their mission. More trains in more places for more people. The Gulf Coast line, particularly the Mardi Gras route, has become a beacon for those eager to explore the region without the stress of driving. One traveler shared their experience on the 531 train out of New Orleans, noting, "Not an empty seat," a testament to the demand and enthusiasm for the service. Beyond the numbers, the emotional resonance is clear. People are tired of congested highways and long drives. They crave the comfort, convenience, and charm of rail travel. "Simply build it and they shall come," one supporter noted, capturing the spirit of this transportation renaissance. Others are already planning vacations around the route, envisioning leisurely stops in each Gulf Coast town. There's also hope that this momentum will lead to expanded service, with many looking forward to the day when trains can run beyond Mobile and into Florida. For now, the Gulf Coast line stands as a shining example of what's possible when communities, advocates, and transit agencies come together to put passengers first. With riders this excited about better rail service, do you think the Gulf Coast is ready for even bigger transportation changes? And that wraps up today's journey. Thanks for watching.